And so our religion of the future, I believe, will bring man into much more harmony with himself on all levels. That we will see it all in relation to a higher thing. We won't make a religion of diet, but we will use diet wisely in order to achieve more spiritual than material ends. And finally, and this one I speak a little bit out on a limb, but I think that it's actually happening already, that people are becoming more and more aware, a few people here or there, of spirits behind nature, spirits in nature, and of the need. This was something that sort of blew my mind when I first read it in Master's interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita. And I just worry sometimes how many of these things that he wrote will find their way into the final printed version, because I don't remember seeing them in the magazines, but I know he wrote them because I was there working with him. And he was talking about how important it is that man pay reverence to those spirits, that man try to. That's why we have our channel songs, melodies, that we try to bring those energies back, bring the divine energy, because it's God through those forms that we're really looking for, to use each of them as a window onto the infinite. And so to have love for these fellow creatures of ours who are behind what these physical eyes normally see is, I think, going to be a part of the religion of the future. That we will understand that there is a hierarchy of angels, and that it's not just God right there. Already we've opened the door by talking of masters. Masters, great masters, are above the angels. But we'll begin to see, this is something that the Protestant churches have lost tremendously when they separated from the Catholic Church and decided they didn't want to pray to the saints. Because what we need to do is to have reverence, love for channels, and not just for the absolute. The Protestant approach is a very sterile one, in my opinion. I grew up in the Protestant church, and it just seemed to have no life in it, no enthusiasm, no love, because it was always austerely looking to the highest. And the thing is that if you're a native in a subject in a country with a king, you don't just hate everybody but the king. The king has to work through other people. He can't just constantly come on your doorstep every time you want him. He has to send emissaries, and that infinite consciousness is too subtle to come down to this human level, except to very highly advanced people. So he comes through those who, like transformers that step down the electric power at the plant to the level that you can receive it in your home, he steps down that power through lower entities. And to have that sense of reverence for all life, I think that will be a part of the future religion. Not the exclusion of everything, but the inclusion of everything in a divine way, that we will begin to see in each other channels for qualities that we want to develop. I've always believed that the mark of a spiritually refined person is an ability to appreciate other people, an ability to be grateful. Many people don't have that ability. When you see someone who does, you know he's refined. That ability then, I think, is going to develop more, that we begin to see people as channels for God. We begin to see the trees and nature as channels for divine energies. And when we do that and begin to live in harmony with nature, as opposed to merely raping this planet to grab what we can for ourselves from it, I believe that then we will find that this planet begins to treat us, too, as friends. Now, increasingly, it's beginning to rumble and start to wake up, and to think that if we want to be its enemies, we'd better get shaken off like fleas. And I think that we're headed toward a terrible natural calamity merely because we haven't understood how we can live in harmony, and we always put ourselves in opposition, friction, competition. But I think the religion of the future will be a religion of harmony, not of persecution. A religion of expanded awareness that includes higher and higher realities, and that our lives as a result will be much, much more harmonious. It won't just lock God up in a church. It will see him in the trees. It will see the whole world as a church. It will see that wherever we go, we can worship him. That's what we want to do here at Ananda, to help bring him back to life in the trees by our appreciation for it. Naturally he will come where he's appreciated. Naturally he will come where he's called. Naturally he will absent himself where he is ignored. And that is why this planet is going through such upheavals today, and they will continue until man finally wakes up and realizes that this religion, which I say is the religion of the future, will be an all-embracing one, a religion above all of love and of joy. Thank you.